This is OSNG, Old School Next Generation. We're a dad and two sons who grew up in the woods and learned to hunt the old way. This show isn't about telling you how to hunt. It's about the stories, the screw-ups, the lessons you only learn the hard way, and the memories you don't want to lose. None of it exists without my dad. He taught us how to hunt, how to act, and when to shut up and pay attention. OSNG isn't a podcast. It's who we are. We're all freaks. And this is Old School Next Generation.
Welcome back to OSNG. Tonight we're talking about all the things we used to be absolutely sure about, right up until a deer made us look ridiculous. We're swapping stories about deer that probably never existed, hunting advice we don't believe anymore. We're going to throw each other into impossible hunting situations, and then we're going to wrap it all up with a round of deer hunting would you rather. So whether you're driving to work, hanging a stand, or just wishing it was already October, settle in. Let's get at it. We're OSNG. This is Jamie. This is Jaden. I'm Clark. We're going to start off with the deer that never existed. When I was putting this episode together, I'm not sure we've had a ton of mythical deer that we weren't positive about.
I got two.
Okay, I mean, you hear stories in the community, but I'm not sure that we've ever really had it. Maybe I'm just forgetting them, that we thought, I'm going after this deer, and then it just ended up not being a true story. So you can start us off if you have something.
So this was a real deer, but we never ever saw it again. It was so weird. Papa used to only let me hunt the field edges, right? Because I wasn't about to go in big buck land, at 12. So he would put me on the field edge and work about 150 yards back into the woods where he'd actually see something, and I would be occupied by watching does all afternoon. And I'm caught on this, field edge looking across to the creek and
Cut cornfield, right?
Cut cornfield. And I'm watching these does. This is early October, and they're 200 yards off. Nothing to do, just sitting here watching. And I noticed that there's some uncut corn. And I'm like, well, that's weird. There's no other uncut corn. Until the corn stalks turned sideways. And that deer, from then on, was known as the river monster.
Yeah.
Never once did we ever see this deer on camera. I never once saw it again in real life. And that's been 15 years ago. I questioned myself whether it actually happened or not.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I don't think it ever existed. I think it was just your eyes playing tricks on you.
Because
I do remember this now that you say it. I remember when you saw it.
Because I didn't have binoculars. I didn't have any fun things. I'm just sitting here with my bare eyes watching this, buck at 250, 300 yards. And to this day, I swear, it could be one of the biggest deer I've ever seen. But I have
corn rows are 30 inches apart?
Yeah. I mean, it looked like standing corn until he turns his head. And that's when I realized it's a deer. I can't tell you what it was. It drives me insane.
Skinwalker.
No,
that was another time.
No.
Although it was in the same area.
Yeah, actually. You'll never hear that story.
He didn't see that either.
No.
So anyway, same area when we used to run our old cutty backs and things like that. Cross the woods, cross the clearing. We get a random buck. And if you know anything about hunting the bottoms, you know that anything can occur down there in any river bottom because it's so nutrient rich and there's so many different things that can come through. Nutrient rich?
Yeah. I'm not sure where you're going with it. But.
Well, you just never know what's going to come through a river bottom.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's miles and miles of continuous, timber, lots of places. So.
Yeah. I mean, we would get random deer a lot, but not like this one. And it was a foggy picture.
I think it was Christmas morning.
It was Christmas morning. Yeah.
I knew it had something to do with Christmas, but I didn't remember when it was.
Mm-hmm.
We get a black and white photo on one of those old cutty backs, and I said, hey, that's got a drop tine. It's got like a bulb drop tine. And Leroy told me that I was not very bright in his Leroy lingo. And then we put the video on, and it follows it at the same height all the way through. And the bulb was the size of a baseball or more.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like, is it the hole in the horn buck that's got that big
I think.
drop tine that's
Yeah.
bulbous. That's what it looked like
I mean, it was a legitimate bulb off the right side of the rack, right at the camera.
as it walked by. But again, it was foggy and misty, and
And again, never saw that deer
he
again.
was a skinwalker too.
Yeah. He's on his hind legs.
Dude, hey, the river bottoms were crazy.
Yeah, you did get some random things in the river bottoms, but yeah, I do remember those two things. But again, maybe they didn't exist. Maybe it wasn't exactly what we thought it was.
I don't think I have a single deer that I can think of that I thought existed that didn't.
Well, that's because you always watch the random 4-pointers that come through and they all look the same.
Do we need to go back to pincushion?
Okay, I can think of one when Dad and I were hunting in the Little Muddy River bottoms, same area that you're talking about, but this was further north. Back when I was probably either late teens, early 20s, and I'm walking out to get to the 3-wheeler, and I get to the edge of the woods.
So
and
we're talking like 50 years ago, 3-wheelers.
1875.
So I get to the edge of the field, and sometimes you'll get down and it's darker. You get down at 30 minutes before sunset because you can't see. But when when you're in the woods, close. When you're in the woods, it gets dark earlier than it does out of the woods. So I was hunting a stand those 50 or 75 yards back into the woods, and it was dark enough. I got down and I come out to the edge. And, you like to come to the edge and scan the field. Well, I stood at the edge and I looked across the field and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is a huge buck standing there looking at me. And I didn't have a pair of binoculars on me. Don't do that anymore. Don't go in the field without binoculars.
Well, they hadn't invented them yet.
So I'm standing there and I'm looking at him. And, it's starting to get darker and darker. I'm looking. I'm like,
It's just a giant tree.
I'm like, it's a tree. It's just, a tree along the edge.
Been there.
But yeah,
right before sunrise.
How many times have you seen that, right?
He's looking at the buck of your line.
Yes.
Next thing you know, it's just
Yes. But the thing is, after I convinced myself that it was a tree and I start walking, it swings its head and runs into the woods.
It's a walking tree.
It wasn't a tree. It was a large deer. What that was before we ran trail cameras.
Circa when?
90
Civil War.
Maybe 91, 2, 3, somewhere in there.
So
early
you don't
90s.
So okay. You don't
You're old
have-
enough to know what a big deer is.
Oh
Yeah, but I want to go to you weren't seasoned in big deer at that point.
Right.
So what are we when we say it's huge, are we talking 150? Are we talking
He's bigger than that.
Okay.
Probably 160, 170.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, at that time,
Well, that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking,
at that time, the biggest deer that Dad or I had, any of us had killed was like 130.
yeah.
But I mean, I thought it was a tree, and I convinced myself it was a tree. And then when I decided to walk to the 3-wheeler up the side of the woods, it turns. I'm like, oh no.
Mistakes have been made.
Yes.
Well, we'll never see him anyway, so let's
Yes.
just head on back.
All right, here's one that it was in this area that I heard about several times, and maybe you guys did too, but I don't know that it ever existed either. Okay, we're near Rend Lake.
Mm.
Oh, yep, you know where I'm going. Wayne Fitzgerald State Park.
Saw pictures of this deer.
Oh, you did?
yeah, legit. It's legit. Or was legit. That'd been
always
almost
heard
10
it was
years.
like 200 inches. Yeah.
240.
Oh my.
240.
Yeah. Yep. That is the dude that I saw the pictures from was trying to hunt it. Okay. And he got legitimate photos of it walking into the woods. I promise you,
Really?
it was bigger than anything we have looked at. And that's why I'm telling you, bigger than Stickers,
Yeah.
considerably bigger than the Freak. Like, it was
I'm hunting Wayne
insane.
Fitz this fall.
No. Now, here's the thing.
But wasn't
It was on
over
the- it was on the
toward
other
It was
side.
on the
interstate, right?
non-hunting side.
Yeah.
So you can hunt the interstate side.
Oh, see,
You
I
can't
always
hunt
heard
the
it was.
campground side.
Yeah,
I
it's-
always heard
when you
that
go
this
down the
was
road, it's on the
behind,
left
like
side.
where the gun club is, the shooting range, was where I heard it was.
Well, that's where people would try to hunt him.
Oh, okay.
But the guy that I talked to was convinced that he ventures that way and thought that he actually, his core was closer to the
the non-hunting
resort and farther back to the west.
Yeah. Well, we know, I mean, we've gone through Wayne Fitz, at times, and it is amazing that when hunting season comes, they no, I need to get west of the road.
Well, we went
I mean, we drove through there. There's nothing on the east side, and there were literally dozens on the west side.
I think that night we saw one small doe on the hunting side, and I think we saw upwards of 100 deer on the non-hunting side. It was insane.
Like they knew. They can read the signs. That was one that apparently you saw pictures of. Okay, here's a good one. It's been probably 4 or 5 years ago. A relative sent me a picture of a buck that somebody supposedly got on trail camera down just north of Buckner, and was like, holy cow. I mean, this huge, wide buck, black and white. Yeah, that was all over the internet.
Oh, yeah. That was whenever that was during football season my junior year.
I got a real one that has some basis in it. Going back to the Little Muddy Bottoms, there was supposedly a 200-incher running on the Franklin side. And I didn't know it till after the fact because some friends of Pawpaw's had people hunting behind their house and killed one that was around 190. They found it with its back broke when they had to put it down.
I thought that one was over 200. I thought that was
it
207.
over? Was it 207?
Yeah.
It was a big freaking
Pretty
deer.
sure it was 207, yeah.
Now, this was early high school, so we're talking,
because it
over
was
a decade.
it was kept at the house.
At the house.
Cooler, yeah.
But I showed it to someone who had been hunting that deer, who was really upset about it.
Further north, yeah.
Further north. But there was apparently a second one.
Really?
From my understanding, that was not the only one. He was hunting that one. But there were rumors of another one that big up there.
See, I think they just misinterpreted. They thought there was another one. It was the same deer.
Well,
it's very possible.
But I mean, how many times are there deer that have similar? I mean, we can go back to your 2-year-old.
We had 3 with similar characteristics, we think.
I'm
not
sure.
convinced. I think there might have been 2, but
I think that there was 3
at the time during the season. We thought there were 3. Yeah,
yeah, and 2 of them effectively disappeared. And I know
after he killed one.
After he killed one, I know that his deer and the other deer are not the same. We know that.
Yeah, there were at least 2.
Junior and 3.
Junior and 3 were not the same deer, but I'm not so sure that Minnie and 3 weren't the same deer.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that you take 3, you add 30 inches of rack to him, and that's Junior.
Yeah.
It was literally identical.
Yeah.
That point in time.
Yeah. You were talking about the one that was killed on the neighbors, I think it was 207, because I remember he was ugly.
It was ugly.
But I mean,
he had 8-inch bases, didn't he?
Yeah, it was like between 8 and 9.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that was half mile, 3/4 of a mile up the river from where I killed the freak. I mean, that river bottom, there's I never saw this. But I think the biggest deer that Leroy ever saw was just up the river across the highway to the north. When I was a kid, Dad was a big quail hunter, rabbits, but quail especially, and they were hunting off of, and I love to say this, they were hunting off of Titmouse Lane.
I knew exactly where you were going with that.
Yeah. And Dad and my uncle at the time were bird hunting, and they saw this buck standing by like a deadfall, like a treetop, and he turned his head, and a lot of the treetop wasn't a treetop, it was antlers. He said he had points every direction, big, non-typical. Yeah. And that was between where I saw this big one I was talking about on the field edge. I mean, we've hunted up and down that river for
decades.
Well, I mean, almost from Route 14 all the way up to Scheller. We've hunted, different places along those river, little muddy river bottoms, and you never know what's going to come through there. Try to think of any other big bucks that were.
I want to go back to that before we move on. Did Pawpaw go to his grave saying that? Because I know of one that Papa and I saw on the same night.
Oh well, that was one that I never saw. You saw, Leroy saw, Jim Bowles saw, the owner of the property saw, because that was around the time of stickers,
And so there's a bigger one.
and the owner always said there's a bigger one.
He
There's
was
a bigger
bigger.
one. And he supposedly has pictures of the bigger one, though I never saw them.
Well, I saw them with my bare eyes. I'll tell you this. I saw both of them with my bare eyes. Stickers will score more, but I don't know if I will ever see a deer bigger.
You Leroy, and Jim all saw him on the same night.
You think 200 inches typical? Close?
It reminded me, I think, a lot of the Jordan buck. Dude, I'm telling you.
I'll tell you
A moment like that is seared in your head.
Yeah.
And I was about 70 yards. You know, it's not like I was watching him across the field and seeing this. He was right here.
And you weren't with Dad when you saw him.
No, I was on essentially the south side of the field. And after he left with me, because he just turned and walked right back into the creek of what he came out of.
Was that the night that he got into it with?
Mhm.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
I was hunting that night. Didn't see it.
Yeah.
Or you,
Well, Papa saw him on the north side of that field after I had turned him back to the north,
Right.
which is where Jim Bowles saw him
And then
too.
he crossed and went further up, and that's where Jimmy saw.
well, that takes me to back in 2022 when me and Josh saw the biggest deer
Oh,
we've
yeah.
ever seen.
That's a dude.
And we, my buddy, man, we went and just pulled camera cards and put new ones in, and we were going home, and it was in October.
You got that video?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Throw
very
that on
Timmy,
there.
we'll put it up.
it's very grainy, but
Well, yeah, but
can
you
see
get
the
you
frame
get the
looks that big.
and it was like four.
Move your drink. You may be blocking yourself.
It was like 4:45.
We want to see that pretty face.
4:30, something like that in the evening.
put that back up there.
Yeah.
Break the
And
camera.
we get on the road, and about half mile up the road, I'm going, that's a buck. Like, that's a big buck. And he's like, yeah, that's big. I'm like, I'm going to try to get up there so we can see it. And he was just methodically moving through the cornfield and then swung his head around. He's probably about 150 yards off at that point, off the road. 190 inches typical, I would say.
The frame looked that size.
The frame was that size. Mind you,
I think
my deer and his deer, obviously, we've seen one time only. We have never gotten fantastic looks. You'll get to see his video. I was starstruck at 17. I didn't have enough time. I just wanted to be in the moment.
Well, he just stood there after he swung his head around, and I'm pretty sure I think I counted at least 12.
Yeah,
But I didn't
and
see
your deer
any
is
junk,
huge.
and I didn't see any junk.
Your deer is huge. I just want to throw that out there. We are saying, with the experience that we've had, this is what we think. You will be able to draw your own conclusions when you watch the video. But I remember getting that video and going, "Oh, sweet God, I'm so happy we can hunt up here." Never saw that deer
saw
again.
him again.
And
Never
I
saw
don't
him
know
again.
that any. And we know people that hunt around there that never.
No,
That's just to the south of there. Well, we had somebody that we coached and stuff, and he had mentioned that buck. He was like,
he was aware of it.
he was like, have you seen that monster running around my house? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
You
no,
know.
we're gonna bleep this out, and that's fine. But who?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure me and him talked about it during.
Which
football
that makes
season.
sense. I mean,
But,
as the crow flies.
But I said, I'm pretty sure. I was like, do you have pictures of it? And he was like, no. He said, we've just seen it. I'm like, it was just north of you.
Yeah.
I was like, I would assume it's the same deer because the way you describe it's pretty similar, and there's
Yeah.
not going to be very many like that.
No,
And I don't think anyone ever got him.
and we don't have, to our knowledge, we don't have any of the genetics.
No.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't see any similarities
No.
in that deer.
Maybe
in,
the 12 that I saw
during COVID.
would
Possibly.
be the only one that would be
That would have been
similar
2 years
to it.
later.
But that's another
Yeah.
crazy thing is we've talked about before off the podcast. We have not seen a deer that looks like that deer.
Yeah.
In that area.
Yeah.
Like, we don't like
Maybe it was him 2
Yeah, well,
years
that's what I-
early.
that's what I said. It was 2 years
and
later.
that could be why. Which, thinking about where you saw him and where we would see him, that
Yeah.
is not far at all. Almost
Yeah.
a straight direct shot to the east. But I mean, the majority of our big deer end up with those.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
genetics of
The-
the
you know,
old
the-
turkey claws are strong up there.
Yeah. Oh, and that takes me. I didn't say this. He
Well-
split 2 houses
Yeah.
to go into that cornfield.
Yeah.
There was a house
right
here
between
and
them.
a house here within 200 yards, and he just split them.
Well, and what I was going to say is, that brings up another one is we know this deer got killed, but we got one that we saw one time along the cornfield edge, and we were like, that's a dude. That is a dude. That is a dude. And we never saw him again and was killed a half mile north. You know who I'm talking about.
What county?
Jefferson.
But I'm not
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mega Bro?
Mm-mm. No. We were at the hospital when we got the video, and you guys thought it was Droopy, and I said, that is not Droopy. And then 2 days later, we got Droopy on the same camera at the same angle, and this guy dwarfed what we had of Droop that year.
Are you talking about that double drop time?
No.
No, that was
No.
Droop's dad.
What?
The double drop with the turkey claws? Absolutely. Older bloodline.
No. That deer was way too small. It probably a
I'm
brother.
I'm not following you.
I'm gonna find this picture.
Do we have a name for him?
We only saw him one time. We thought it was Droop until a friend of ours killed it.
Oh.
That friend.
Yeah.
North.
Yeah.
It was at that north camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, yeah, I do.
And it
remember
was
that.
like, what, late June, early July? And all we saw was the back end.
Yeah, but I mean that.
Yeah.
Think about that deer walking away.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and those genetics again are strong.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
I mean,
look,
that's-
1, 2.
Oh yeah, there have been
3.
several deer killed in that area with those turkey claws.
Which that almost resembles more of Baby Droop.
Yeah.
If he wasn't 12 inches wide.
And where's he?
We got Baby Droop. We saw him the other night.
We think. We think. We
Looks like a dude. Not that kind of dude, but looks like a dude.
Hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out Peyton Bates. Peyton Bates, you're blowing up my phone.
Dude, we're working here.
I told you we were working.
All right. Any other? Oh well. Okay. I'm going to tease this one because this one's still in place. I don't want to give too much of it.
I'm curious.
You well documented among us. I mean, we've
I don't know where you're
tried
going.
to get access to hunt, and you and I were driving around one morning during season, got a call from Bowles, saw a monster.
Oh,
We went looking for him, couldn't find him, and just by chance that night coming home from work, I decided to swing down a country road in the area where Seth had seen him that morning, and I caught him slipping out of a woodlot crossing a bean field and got a couple of pictures and video of him.
And this one is a legitimate ghost because
yes,
because I was adamant that this is not the same deer that people had been seeing, and I was told I was crazy.
Yeah.
Because the possibility of 2 deer with double drops is asinine. And I thought I was crazy. I thought I was going crazy until we found out I was not crazy.
And I mean, I can think of at least 4 or 5 other people besides us that know this deer exists.
They knew for a while, too.
Yeah, before we saw him, because
And that's
And
impressive.
They kept it on the low. We had,
Yeah.
they had
and he ventured during the rut, and that's how we, he got on our radar. Was he ventured out of his home core?
far south.
We saw him, and then we got a permission on a piece of property kind of in that core, and found out that there were some people hunting him in another area. Some people that were aware of him, a half mile or so away, that were trying to get permission on a piece that we tried to get permission on, and nobody's got permission on, and is probably where he's staying. There were poachers going through the woods in the middle of the night with DNR involved. I guess
we get a snippet of this deer, right? We
And
get a snippet of
suddenly-
this deer, and then suddenly we're right in the middle of all the lore that's going around.
Yeah.
and-
we had
and
no idea was
Yeah.
happening. No.
Yeah.
But again, I'm gonna go back. Not the same deer.
You still don't think it's the same deer?
I have seen both deer. They are not the same deer.
Yeah. Well, there is a shed of that deer that exists.
That is
that
what
was found.
That is what solidifies.
That was the most wicked shed I've ever seen in my life.
But that is what solidifies my theory: is they are not the same deer.
I don't even know what deer you're comparing him to right now.
I can
That double drop.
I can get a picture of it later, and once you see it, you'll understand. But it ain't the same deer in the fact that there are
In that same core area. And, we're talking, what, a mile and a half?
Yeah.
I mean, that's from one end to the other of where people are hunting him, where they're seeing him. It's a mile and a half. It's a big area. And, we ran cameras pretty hard on the piece that we did get permission on that should have been a travel corridor. Never got him. Never saw him.
that is another reason that adds to my theory is.
And that's a pretty open area. You would think more people would have seen this deer in that area.
No, I'll explain off camera. But
we'll drop that. There are probably some people that watch the podcast that go, "Yeah, I know exactly what deer you're talking about."
and we won't blow it. We won't blow it. But we can talk about that off camera, because the more that we go through with this stuff, with the information that we get, number one, we have probably, because stupid things happen, 0 shot at this deer, if I am correct.
We're in think about the world's biggest stadium. We're in the top seats, as in being in the game.
Yeah, we're kind of on the Wrigley rooftops. We're outside the stadium, but we can see it.
We're across the street.
Yeah.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I mean, if he gets on a doe, sure.
Yeah,
if he's cruising, sure.
There's a chance. There's a chance I could win the lottery too.
But I don't know that there's any more of a chance that we couldn't kill him. Yeah, I can't say that because it would give too much away.
Stop talking.
Yeah, it'd give too much away.
We don't want to do that. But we spend hours driving around this area, and never once did we see it. And it was just by chance that we even learned about it. And that's what's fascinating with these ghosts. And I stand by the fact, you've told me I'm crazy. There are 200-inch deer everywhere. You will not change my mind.
I don't know about everywhere, but I think there are more of them out there than a lot of people
I would agree
realize.
with you if Illinois went back to being a $1 state.
Nope. I will not change my mind. I have seen 3, I'm going to say it, I have seen 3 200-inch deer with my own eyes. I have seen deer that are more than 200-inch deer in our area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're talking Franklin, Jefferson, Perry, and I know that Williamson and those places
we were
are going to have
talking about
them too.
the Wayne Fitz buck. I mean, last year the gentleman killed a 250-inch deer in Pyramid.
Yeah.
I don't think that was last year. It's been 2 now.
Was it a year before last?
It was 230.
But no, not thinking the same. No, you're crossing 2 stories. You need to relax.
You're thinking of the one that was found.
Yeah, you're thinking of the one that's found. You need to relax on that.
Oh, there's
But we can sit here and count up at least a dozen that we know of that were put on the ground, and I refuse to believe
that every 200 plus buck is killed.
Only ones
ground.
here.
Yeah.
So if we can think of a dozen in the last 5 or 6 years, that tells me that the number is sky high. You're probably getting 1% of what is out there.
I don't think there's 100 200-inch deer in a 4-county area. I'm not saying.
I'm saying across Southern Illinois. I'm not saying in Franklin, Jefferson. I'm just saying what we know of in those counties. That tells me that there are way more than we could ever believe.
Oh, I agree.
There's a reason that we don't see them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that. Just like the one I saw, just like the one he saw, we have put hours and hours and hours across the years, and we have one little sighting of it. You can't tell me that there's not more.
Yeah. And I think that they are more common than a lot of people think they are. I don't think they're as common as you think they are. So, all right. Apparently it's time for something. I don't know. It's not a bathroom.
I hope not.
don't know what he's doing.
I don't know.
All right, we're going to move to the next topic. We spent plenty of time there. All right, things, huh?
The ghosts are
The ghosts are
You raised
fun.
in a barn?
You left the refrigerator open, my man.
It's getting warm.
Yeah, we.
Dude, I can't believe you've got Sprite in the mini fridge. I was so happy to see that. It's
I like
tough.
Sprite. I like Sprite.
All right, things we thought we knew, but turned out to be wrong. Things we thought, we'd been given advice. We've talked a little bit before about, the scent spray and that kind of thing. That's one thing that at one point I would have absolutely sworn upon. I don't know that it really makes a ton of difference.
We smell like turds to them. They'll always pick up on it.
I think it makes a difference. I'm not sure it makes the difference Leroy thought it did, but that's one of those things that I'm too scared to find out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I'm not going to go out to a tree stand without washing my rear.
well, I get that, and washing our clothes, but I am so paranoid about it. I would rather spend $8 on a spray and spray down every time I go in than possibly miss out on an opportunity and know that was something that I did different. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've grown up for 20 years spraying down. I'm going to spray down.
All right, so what other things have we been taught, thought we knew, given advice, thought it was perfect, and just totally threw that out the window? I'll start us off. Pee jugs.
Yeah.
Leroy was adamant about having pee jugs,
That was so disgusting.
and they would get so nasty.
Fermented.
And I mean, even after I started hunting a lot with a climber or, just setting up the ghost blind, I'd carry a pee jug in and out with me every time I hunted. I would tie it on the back belt loop. Jamie's shaking his head. He's not fully bought in on this one. You and I are like, just let it fly, man. You still aren't so sure about that.
I carry a core water bottle in anyway, and I drink it.
Don't confuse yourself and think you forget you drank all of it.
Well, first off, that doesn't happen.
It's not Mountain Dew.
No, I don't. Well, I was going
Or
to say I
Sprite.
don't really
Your-
drink soda, but
Your
here I
guys'
am.
doesn't look like Diet Coke.
I get that looked at
Like
man.
Dr. Pepper.
No, I'm going to carry a water bottle in no matter what. I drink water throughout the day. I don't know how we didn't drink water or eat a snack in the stand anyway. Like growing up, I couldn't believe it. Only shotgun hunting could you eat a snack.
I just have to say, water bottle, the top's pretty small.
It's pretty big.
So anyway,
How do you pull that off?
That's plenty of room for me.
Anyway, I said core water bottle. Jesus, and we're wanting to advertise this in the programs. Can't be doing this stuff, man.
Oh, whatever.
You're thinking about it too much.
Anyway, I'm gonna bring that in. So why not? Again, I've tried your philosophy and then been terrified that could cost me a deer, and I don't know, man. I also think of Papa Joe's situation and know that would be so freaking bad if that
Literally got caught with it in his hand.
It'd be kind of cool to pull it off like he did.
That's
like
pretty impressive.
Shooting a big
Not-
eight with your
not
pants
that he
down.
pulled it off. I mean, he
What
got
do we?
the buck.
What's he pulling off?
He got the buck. That's what he pulled off.
I hate
not,
you
not
guys so
anything
much.
else.
I'd also like to throw out that it was when the deer came back through with the doe that he got the deer. But I couldn't imagine that happening and then trying to scramble.
Well, but here's the thing. I mean, we've always said that if you aren't seeing deer and you want to see deer, go pee. What's the difference if you're letting it fly or if you're peeing
in
in
a
a
water
bottle?
Well, in the bottle, I have to think about moving the bottle. If I'm like, could you imagine being on top of a tree stand and being like, "Oh my god, a shooter!" and then spraying across the tree? You know what I mean?
Remember
Like-
when my stand shifted last year?
Yeah.
I've done that before.
Hey, that
Let it
doesn't
go and the stand shifts.
Hey, that doesn't happen with a hanging hunt. That's weird. Or a saddle, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Also-
Anyway, so what else have we?
Okay.
I was gonna say, I always thought bucks kind of moved the same way in the rut. They all kind of were going wild. Not true at all. I learned that once I started really paying attention more is, each buck has each deer, but each buck has their own personality, and as they get older, their patterns may change. They may go further, or they also may get more conservative in where they go. I mean, we knew where Vader was the entire time. He older buck, and that was his place. Even during November, he was in there, and that's where he would rut. He wouldn't go anywhere else.
He wasn't a big traveler.
I'll add on to that is when I was younger, like I said at the beginning of the show, was I hunted a lot of field edges, and as I got older and you guys allowed me to move into the woods, something that I was told is when it's the rut, you want to be in the hardwoods.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not overly sure that that's tried and true, because the doe's going to have to eat at some point. If you're looking like, yours with Loki coming off of a field, yours going to
he came off bedding. He traveled that wood line with them.
Oh, wood line.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, but he wasn't coming off the field.
Okay, but if you're 200 yards into the woods, you ain't going to be able to shoot the wood line, the fence row, whatever you want to call it.
One of the things that has changed with my mindset on that, and it would be like you need to be in the woods during the rut, but now, there are different times during the rut, like you were talking about. You've got to be between that food source and bedding, or you've got to be, by mid-morning, you want to be near, upwind of that bedding area, because that buck is going to be cruising, and he's going to come
Which
in.
is
He's going to be
exactly
where the
where I
does are.
was.
But in the morning or late, he's going to be near the food sources where the does are, and then he's going to be cruising the bedding areas. So,
and I agree with that, but I'm talking about, and you weren't a part of this, is that was you were too young. What I'm talking about is when we would hunt in Perry County, we were inside the woods, and there was no question. Once it hit November, you were inside of the woods. The favorite spot for you guys up in Jefferson is at a triangle of two separate fields.
well, it's a funnel. Yeah.
But still, where do you see a lot of the action?
Well, you do see a lot out in the fields. And I know what you're talking about in Perry County, and that was through years of experience in that woods, because we would hunt the edges, and inevitably we would see the deer 75 yards inside the woods moving. So that's when we moved in there, and that's how crabby. That's how I got crabby.
And I agree that it depends on where you're at, but the way it was taught to me was that was God.
Yeah.
When it came to November, you needed to be in the woods. That's where they're gonna be cruising, bedding. Well, depending on where you're at, that's going to change, and that's why I'm saying it's not steadfast. You need to be in the middle of the woods. If we were in the middle of the woods where we hunt now, you'd be out of the game on 95% of the deer that you see in the middle of that woods.
Yeah.
Now we tend to skirt the corners farther into the woods than we would, but we're not deep woods like we used to be. So that's what I'm saying, to you is we've evolved from that. I just think travel a little bit more.
Well, I think we just understand the woods a little bit more than that we hunt now than what we did then. Or they just adapted to their woods that they had, and that's where you hunted. So it's like, hey, this is how we hunt this place. You're going to go into the woods, but now it's a little bit different, and it's like
a smaller wood lot.
And where you're talking about that triangle is there's bedding right behind us. So you're hunting the field, the field edges, but you're also hunting that bedding as well. So it's not technically just hunting field edges. You're just hunting.
I know.
both.
What I'm saying is it was presented as this is what you do, and it wasn't just the bottoms that we did that with. As we moved on from those spots, we had to evolve with what we had, and some of the encounters that we have that we talk about, that you've talked about, they come from a field setting. And I'm not saying that deep woods during the rut isn't good or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it depends on what your situation is.
We don't
what
hunt
you're
properties
hunting.
that we could be, quote, deep woods.
Well, not anymore. And I understand that is what that place was. But when you're 10, 11, 12, 13 years old and you're being taught to hunt, and that is how it's presented, well, that completely flips the script when you start hunting something else. It wasn't necessarily, this is how we hunt this spot. It was, this is what we do during November. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Jesus. Talking to the kid at the back of the classroom.
Here's one that I have changed my mindset on. I always thought that the big bucks are always bedded in the thickest stuff on the farm.
No. They're bedded where they can see as much as they can.
Everything. Yep. Fence rows terrify me now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. They're terrible.
Like trying to walk, like, because that was, again, going back to Pawpaw.
Because that's something we have to use up in Jefferson.
Yeah.
And that's something I'd rather not
How
use.
many times have we seen those big bucks? It's evolved with experience. Bedded in a fence row, bedded in a small pond area, bedded in, the side of, literally like a CRP field.
Yeah.
Where they feel safe, but they can see. Now,
or 100 yards behind houses.
now I think that they use those thick areas to move.
Yeah.
I do. When they're up
But if
and
they're
moving,
bedded down, they're going to bed somewhere where they can see.
yeah.
And I think a lot of times, I would bet that there's been a handful of times we've walked past a stud and
Absolutely.
had no idea he was even
You bet.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's
Like
been
that day-
times where we've, like, I remember going back, this is a long time ago, because we got in the stand that you had broke your arm out of, and we could both get in it. So I'm young. And walking down that little logging road to get there was rough. Because you had woods on your west side, clearing on your east. You're walking through bedding the whole time. And we got up in the top of the tree, and we're there 20 minutes. And they stand up 10 yards off the logging road and walk it. And you were so proud because we didn't spook them.
Yeah.
And I'm, at that point, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome, blah, blah, blah. I look back on that, and I'm like, holy crap, we're walking right through bedding to get to the stand. That is a no-go now.
Yeah.
It's like that one day last year. It was like a week or two before we ended up getting Loki. When we were in there changing solar panels and lithium batteries, when I spotted him with the doe in that dry pond.
Yeah.
How many times have we went in to go hunt or went in to do trail cameras and a buck's been somewhere like that and we just walked right on by it? Luckily, I saw him before because I called you like 6 times and you had the 4-wheeler over there and I'm going, no, don't come north. Don't come north. I'm like, he is right there. And I'm like trying to communicate to you like the penguins in Madagascar about what's going on.
Here's a question. Which penguin are you?
Private.
Rico.
I'm private.
I'm Kowalski.
No, you're not.
I am the numbers guy.
All right. Here's one.
He doesn't get the conversation. That's why
I
he's moving on.
know the penguins, but I don't know their names. All right. Here's one for you, and
You're more like King Julian.
You're more.
King Julian!
Cell cameras. Okay. I have toyed with a couple of different uses of the cell
You
cameras.
still haven't fixed that one.
You mean the one you put out that wasn't
It's
fixed?
because you didn't fix it for
That
4
has
months.
been out for 3 weeks and is dead?
You wouldn't fix it for 4 months. Thought it was fixed.
All right. So, a lot of people will put cameras up high because they don't want deer seeing them. Okay. We've had deer see our cameras. I don't think it bothers them.
Depends on the deer.
Well, sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
But have we, can you think of,
I hate it when you put cameras high.
well, because you can't reach them.
reach him. You got
I'm taller than you.
Got to carry a step stool through the corn in the woods.
But I can't think of a buck that we have chased that saw a camera and stopped.
We had one that we ended up not being able to hunt because it was the year we lost it. Remember that super big
super
one that
wide.
blew
He
up?
did not like cameras.
Every time he saw the camera, he'd bolt.
He'd bolt.
It was down in the
Now,
bottoms.
I will
where
say
you killed freak.
that is the only deer that we've had do that. Though.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
'cause
they
how-
notice it.
Yeah.
They
but
might,
like he would be walking, snap at it, and then boom, he was
Yeah.
gone. He
That
knew
was
exactly what it
that
was.
was crisp. by
Like
the way.
that.
yeah.
Thanks.
But I don't think that affects them. I don't.
I mean, think about how many bucks we've hunted, and that they've seen the cameras, and it's that one buck that saw it and bolted.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I mean,
it's
we've
not
been
as-
running cameras for 15 years almost, and that's the one
the one.
instance
Yeah. And it was every time too.
Yeah.
Like he'd be like, "Oh, there it is,"
which
and then he'd
that
take
gave
off.
some crazy angles of that rack.
Oh, dude, he turned.
We'll throw that one in there too, because one of those is insane.
You might have to send me that because I don't remember specifically.
He was a
I
dude.
got a picture of him the year before. He absolutely blew up.
He blew up because he was kind of a decent 3-year-old, wider than his ears, but his rack was like a sweeping. It went up in the air, and then the next thing you know, he's like this wide, doing the same thing with tines like this, and then we lost the ground and never saw him again.
Yep.
All right. Next item. Would you hunt it? Okay. This is going to be one of those lightning rounds where you don't get to say it depends or maybe. You have to make a decision, okay?
We going serpentine here?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. But we're going to start with Jaden.
That's normal.
Would you hunt it? 40 acres with a giant on it and heavy pressure around.
Yes, we've done it before. I'll do it again.
James?
Is that the only deer? Does it like
One shooter.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, we've done it before. I mean, it's going to happen again.
we've done it. We've done it before. Is why I say yes. But I was hoping to say, is this the only spot that we have? Like, can I just drop in while everyone else is hunting it?
Yeah. Okay. All right, James, you're up first on this one. A private farm with tons of deer, but no mature bucks.
Yeah, I'll hunt it. At some point, there will be mature deer.
Yeah, that year, just take a freezer queen
Yeah,
or 4.
get rid of some of the does for a few years. Let some of the bucks mature.
Okay.
Because in the prompt it doesn't say that there's heavy hunting pressure.
Yeah. You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'd just
It's a process.
It'd be a doe farm for a year or so and see what happens.
I think that's fair.
All right, Jaden, you're up first on this one. 5 years, no trail cameras.
Yes, that would be so fun because you would go in not knowing, like you wouldn't know. You'd go.
There's the old school.
You'd go and
OSNG.
find out, and that would be so fun to do.
James?
I'll take the new generation on that one.
Because we would still hunt the same way. We would place stands in smart areas. We may not know the way they move in there as well, but it's the fact that we're still gonna hunt smart as well as we can without knowing anything. But you would go in and not know what's in there at all.
So I'm gonna go back to the last prompt.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm hunting a farm that has no mature deer and it's all does, and I've got no cameras, I could spend a lot of time in there, not know a single thing, and
You're getting high on hopium here, my man.
I know. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that, but could I be somewhere else putting myself in play for another deer?
Yeah.
So, no cameras scares me a little bit. And because you said yes, I'll say no on this one.
I do miss that
The unknown.
the unknown.
I would love to
I
do
do
that.
miss that. I mean, when we hunted the bottoms, even with cameras, because we had unknown deer show up so much, you still had that a little bit. Where we are now, very seldom do we see a buck during season that we don't know. When you see a buck now, it's more about
I had that happen
identifying
last year, and I was giddy.
Yeah, it's more about deciding or figuring out which deer it is that is coming.
Mm-hmm.
I do miss just not knowing, but
We haven't seen Curly this year either.
not during the summer we haven't.
I was gonna say something to you guys later. We'll talk about that.
You think maybe we have?
Maybe one of them I
Really?
thought could have been Curly this week.
One thing, though, that I will say is while I miss the unknown and the excitement of not knowing what's going to come down that trail, I don't think I would trade it for the amount of fun that we have with the trail cameras.
Even if we got one picture,
10 months out of the year.
But even if we got one picture of this deer, like the drop tine buck, I remember going, God, I hope he walks through. I hope we see that guy in person.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Every morning in November is like Christmas, looking at what's going on overnight. But
but it's just I've done both, and I'm not sure that having no trail cameras, even knowing that they're a tool, not a support, not
I've said it before. I think we over rely on it.
I agree. But just being able to get a glimpse of something to fuel wanting to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're up first on this one. Bow only.
Bow.
No, I mean, would you do it if
Yeah.
you?
Yes.
I have
Absolutely.
for the last 5 years.
Yeah, I was about to say I've done that
Absolutely,
for
yeah.
a while now, which this year's going to change. I ended up being, actually remembering to get my permit, but
Yeah, did you
I've
get
done
an
it for-
email about that? I was going to ask because we did it the same day.
I don't know. I think he
Did you
put.
get an
I think
email?
we.
I don't know. Where
Did we not get them already?
I don't think so.
No, I don't know. I'd have to look. It's been a while.
I was hoping you guys knew where the email came from. If you know where the email comes from, drop it in the comments for us because we're flying blind.
Yeah. I actually have gotten to the point where, I mean, I'm not going to skip it. Gun season.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But bow season's much more enjoyable.
I mean, the two biggest ones I've gotten, I could have gotten with a bow. It just happened to have a shotgun in my hands, and I would have loved to get both of them with a bow.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I have very many deer with a shotgun that I couldn't have shot with a bow.
Yeah.
All right. Who's up? You're up first on this one. Ground blind only.
No.
No elevated.
Nope. Not gonna do it.
James?
No.
Okay.
Shoot if I just used a crossbow like you or something like that, fine. But like using a compound, and I'm not knocking you or anything.
Wow. Way to give me that, little jab
No,
there.
no, you can't use a compound. But like what I'm saying is it's a lot easier to shoot a crossbow out of a blind than it is a
Yeah,
compound.
Yeah, that is true. All right. One stand all season.
No.
No way. Too much pressure unless I'm hunting 3 days out of the year.
Well, I mean, to ask that to us three. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
no, I'm good.
All right. James, you're up on this one.
Okay.
A tiny woodlot behind a subdivision.
Yeah, do that.
I do.
You're not
already.
Lee Ellis.
I'm not Lee Ellis, but I could feel like it.
I've done it already. It's fun. Putting a camera, dude. Some of the bucks we've gotten behind our house, man, it's awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
And I know,
it's like it's right behind our house.
I mean, I know I'm out in the country, but you know how many times I can look out my window and there's freaking deer in like midday out in the
Well,
yard?
yeah. I mean, you had a doe and a fawn in your yard this week.
like
yeah,
noon.
like
middle of the
12:30.
afternoon. Yeah.
You know, like, and I know that's different, but they do the same thing.
I remember you telling me about that one buck behind here one time. I was like 10 years old.
Oh,
You
yeah.
saw
When I
it.
went out to feed the dog and I looked
It
up
was, like,
and there's
misty,
a
wasn't it?
beautiful 10-pointer standing there looking at
that was
me.
on Halloween.
Like that's
Yeah.
so because
Well, and I
mean,
know
in
if you
town.
watch Seek One, people get jealous because of how successful that guy is. But like, he's showing you that they are there.
Well,
and if you just try,
you guys know where
like-
Culver's is in Mount Vernon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
oh, dude,
There's a stud that lived there for a few years.
I've never
'cause my
Between there and
kids-
the interstate?
No,
That
between
woodlot to the
Culver's,
east?
yeah, between
Oh.
Culver's and the apartments. My kids would tell me about it when they'd leave
Really?
Culver's at night. He'd be
Yep.
out there eating in the
Yep.
middle of Mount Vernon.
Well, okay.
there was
I
a
mean,
big one at McDonald's down there by where I used to be in the apartments.
Well, you
About
guys.
160
yeah,
acres.
I
He'd come out and eat in the grass that McDonald's owned.
I
Going to
sent you
jail.
pictures of this. When I was doing the minors games, I would
They'd
come out.
and eat on the hill.
I would come out to the parking lot after the game, and they'd be right across the street there by the ballpark, and I think it's a Fairfield Inn right there. They were
There's-
right in. I mean, and they were big.
There are not very many people that hunt. And I mean, it depends on the town because there's going to be more. There's going to be rules, and some places aren't going to allow it. But like,
Well, did
there
you
is
know-
not enough people that
Not
hunt
every
around
town
towns.
allows you to shoot a bow in town.
Apparently,
We talked about this already.
did you know that? I didn't know that.
I apparently,
You've been doing something illegal for 30 years.
I mean, I came down the road today, and somebody was standing in the road shooting a bow. So,
You know what? And that's what I love about 1A Southern Illinois. It's awesome.
That's football right there.
all right. Next thing, deer hunting. Would you rather? Okay, you're going to get two options. You have to choose one or the other.
Where are we
Would-
starting?
James, would you rather hunt 170 or 3 140s?
170.
170.
Yep.
I've gotten a 140s, and I've told you before I want to climb that ladder. I'd go for something I haven't gotten yet.
I go back to being like 10 years old, not allowed to shoot 130. So, like, 140, 130, same thing.
This one's an easy one, and I know all of us. Bow forever or shotgun forever?
Bow. Why you skipped some that would have been pretty good, but you go with that one?
We're good on time.
All right. 500 private acres or unlimited public land?
500 private.
I mean, 500 private to us is like, that's the
gold mine.
sanctuary, man. I mean, we call it the game preserve.
Hey.
There's a 500 acre tract that
we spent a year and a half on public.
So when you mean unlimited, I have. Well, what do you mean by unlimited free?
Let's say all of Illinois.
the Shawnee Forest.
Yeah,
I thought you were hoping nationwide because I was going to go into like the elk and stuff. But if we're just going to go in Illinois, then yeah,
we're
500
talking
private.
whitetail hunt. Why
Dude,
in the
I
world
am-
would we
We're
talk about-
hunters, man.
Give me 500 acres of private.
Here he goes again.
I'm sorry.
Bladder of a squirrel. I'm telling you, 500 private acres. I would die. I mean,
He died.
That's-
That's it. He wouldn't even.
I mean, how many times have we talked about, man, if we had that game preserve?
100 acres.
Well,
not even.
100 acres would be
We have-
nice.
we
I mean,
have-
it's 100 more than we have.
If we had 40 acres, and I'm gonna talk like this. I really don't care. I'm gonna boast a little bit. If we had 40 acres to our name that we could do whatever we want with it, we'd be more dangerous than we are already.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we have permission pieces that we can't really manage.
You just hang stands and go hunt.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if okay, and we're talking about we call it the game preserves, about a 500 acre block. If we had that, that we could do the habitat, the water, the food plots,
Access.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You need a sugar mama.
she's gonna be a nurse.
You need a neurosurgeon, or lawyers, or rich daddy.
I'm one gamble away from winning big.
Not that big. 500 acres. What would 500 acres? You got your phone on?
It would be roughly 5 million in Illinois because I think it about an acre lot or so of woods is roughly $8,000 to $10,000. Unfortunately,
That's a little high.
I look at land and houses
Really?
all the time. Yeah, that's what it is, man.
Hmm.
I don't see it going under. I don't see it going under 4 million.
Mercy.
So how does that work? Does that work like a mortgage? You just pay on your land.
Yes.
Yeah. At some point, I'll make $5 million, right?
500 acres. My goodness, what would... All right.
Oh, hold on. We can't move on yet. He's not back yet.
Well, we could start the next one. He just won't know what your answer is, okay? Never hunt October or never hunt the rut.
He let the cat in.
No.
He let the cat in.
She wasn't even downstairs.
I would never hunt October. We don't have to pause. Just keep moving. He'll
Where's
get
she
her.
at?
She's under your feet, though.
She's under there.
Okay, just don't let her... Yep. Okay, leave her. She's in there.
She'll open the door. But no, I
As
would
long
never.
as she's not chewing on my headphone wires.
I would never hunt October. There she is.
Yeah, I mean...
Cameo. Do it. I don't care. There's Ava Lou.
Ava spent 12 hours outside last week
Yeah, she probably killed a dozen deer too.
because she got out when Jace came home, and we didn't know it
Throw her.
because she likes to run through doors.
But no, I would never hunt October. If I had the choice of hunting October or the rut, no, I'm gonna take the rut because a lot of times anymore October's 85 degrees.
What's...
Well, I mean, lots of times...
Never hunt October or never hunt the rut.
Oh, God, that's not even a question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for you.
I
it's
mean,
not
what are we
for-
doing?
You believe in the lull still.
I do believe in lulls, but I mean, if I can only hunt in October on top of football and basketball, that sounds awful.
Yep. All right. James, you're up with this one. You take your biggest buck with your son or alone.
Well, knowing his son, he'd never.
I was going to say, how old's my son? Is he 8? If it-
sound like a turkey up there in that tree.
well, then that answers my question. It'd be my son because I would never get within 200 yards of a big deer if he was 8 years old. So we'll go with E. I'll go with E.
I don't have a son. I mean,
That you know of.
that I.
That's crazy.
I might have the most. I might have the most grandchildren for you. Who knows? Anyways, I mean, I'm not to that point yet, so I'm gonna just go with a loan right now.
Right.
I'd love to take my biggest buck right now.
Jaden goes, I'll take him tomorrow.
Well, Michael Jordan said, "Them kids."
I'm gonna jump in on this one because you guys know the answer. I could have tracked the freak. I knew he was not very far,
Hey, that is what
but I backed out
propelled
to
where
get
we're
you
at
guys,
right
yeah.
now.
I know, and that's what I go back to. And then, like I said, I don't remember seeing very big deer together when I was 8, so
Yeah.
it'll be all right down the road.
And one of the only things that I wish would have happened different, I wish Leroy would have gone with us that day.
I know, we should have got him out of the house.
Yeah.
He could have handled it.
Yeah.
We could have walked.
Yep. I wish we'd have taken him with us that day. All right. You're up first on this one. You find your target buck dead, or you watch the neighbor shoot him.
Who's the neighbor? That's the $1 million question. Well, not to get controversial here, but if your target buck is big enough, IDNR is probably going to take them anyway.
Salvage tag.
Unless they want to take it. They can still do that if they wanted to. But I guess I would rather try and get a salvage tag and clean him up. That's what I'd rather respect him
That's
and
where
clean
we
him
go
up.
back to that 250.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened, in Perry County a couple of years ago. Guy was hunting a 250-inch deer. It disappeared in September, right?
And we don't say 250 lightly either.
No, I think it was
every-
254.
I think it was 252.
It was literally scored at
and
252.
he found him a few weeks later. Yeah.
No, I'll find him.
Yeah,
I'll find him.
and I say that because if I find him, it's gonna suck. But then the process of cleaning him up and getting him looking pretty, to respect the animal, absolutely.
Because I know that we've had
And then you
neighbors
get-
kill our deer before, and you find out later, and it's like, oh man!
and then having
I
him
couldn't
up on-
imagine watching him walk into the shooting lane,
double lung, and you just see him crash 30 yards away.
No, yeah, he'd die at the base of my tree.
Put another arrow in him. I killed him.
All right. 1 perfect hunt or 10 average hunts.
What are we? And this is legitimate. When we say the perfect hunt, do I come out with a deer, or do I come out with possibly a deer on any of the 10 hunts?
Let's just say conditions.
Oh, 10 hunts.
10 average.
I mean, that's
that's-
why we go in October when
Yeah.
it's 85 degrees.
Well,
You and I think the first time I went last year, it was so hot. I think were you with me up by the lake? I hunted the climber. It was so hot, but I
think
just
so.
wanted to be in the woods.
Yeah. I was in there.
All right. Jaden, never miss or never get busted.
And you go, stop the count on the first one.
Yeah, I was about to say never. I mean, if I never miss, they walk out 300 yards out in the cornfield. I mean, if we're gonna get technical here, I'm not missing. They will never bust me if I never miss. Now, if we're being legitimate though, never get busted.
No, I'm never missing. If those are my options, I can live with getting busted. We've said before, half the battle's getting them into range.
Yep.
I'd like a guaranteed on that other 50 percent.
I'd be with the never miss.
Yeah,
All right.
we know.
Shut up. James, you get every trail camera photo or every bedding area.
Every bedding area.
Bedding area.
Yep, absolutely.
You can get way more out of it.
All right. James, I'm sorry, no, Jaden. Jaden, you're up on this one. You get a giant every 5 years or a mature buck every year.
Define giant in inches.
I mean, a giant
4.5.
180 plus. Giant's 180 plus, mature is 4 plus.
Mature. I'd rather take a mature deer. Because every year that you take a mature deer, that mature may be the giant. You know what I mean? Like, if I can consistently kill a 5-year-old every year, I don't care what's on the rack, man. If you're killing 5-year-olds, that's something.
James?
I'd go mature. Because the law of averages says at some point they'll correlate.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like at some point, one of those mature deer are going to be your giants. So, yeah, I'm going to take a mature deer every year.
I mean, I've got 2 giants in 40 years of hunting. And they were but they were almost 20 years apart.
Congrats.
And I would take that any day of the week. I'd take one every 20 years right now.
I had a 180 incher in front of me at 25 yards.
But, the last few years it's been
busted.
I didn't get busted.
But the last few years it's been okay, if I can take a 4 or 5 year old every year, you bet.
Absolutely.
1 week in Iowa or an entire season at home.
At home. I don't care what the Hawkeyes are doing up there. I mean, yeah, Iowa's a great whitetail state, but Illinois holds its own right up there with the big dogs too. It's Illinois, Iowa, and Wisconsin. That's your heart of your whitetail land. I'm gonna stay at home full season.
I'll go Iowa.
Really? Why?
I had 5 sits last year.
It is a full season for him.
You know what I mean? Like a full week in Iowa.
No,
I'd like to bump those numbers up. Don't get me wrong, but
those are rookie numbers.
There's no telling this year, man. I may have to start scouting pyramid.
Yeah,
because
you're going to have
find somewhere to be.
You're not burning out our
I know.
permission
I've
pieces.
thought about that. I'm not
Because remember, he chose not to get busted as his one thing. So
Yeah.
we don't need you in there 60 times in a month.
Be like Leroy used to be after he retired and hunt like 45 straight days.
Being real, we haven't got a buck where I would be sitting in a single woods for 60 times out of the year right now. So
Not this year. Not yet.
they'll move in. We're just having an off year. with the
I
summer.
would say...
Which a lot of times when we have a good summer, they move out.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever.
I
Hopefully
would-
they just move in.
I would say a full year at home. I
Yeah.
like to hunt too much to only hunt a week.
Yep.
Yeah. And this isn't part of the outline, but along those lines, and I've thought about that is, lots of years we've had all these shooters and then they disappear. Well, my hope is that we don't have as many shooters this year and we gain some.
Yes. Yep.
We get some moving in.
Hopefully we're on the opposite side of that because a lot of times we hold the big ones in the summer and then they just disappear mid-September and you don't see them again. Hopefully we're on the other side of that where we're going to start seeing more.
Yeah.
I mean, we know our areas they like. It's not like they're just not going to be there this year. At some point they will.
Although I have to say, and somebody's going to get butthurt here. I know it's going to be like 90 tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to go drive around.
Huh?
It's not
I'll go
drive
drive
around.
around.
It's not drive around.
It's
It's going to be 105 tomorrow.
you got to.
We've got some dead cameras and some cameras that need to be moved.
Hey, it's going to be just as hot inside the house.
Yeah, no kidding.
76.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's warm up top. He's contemplating every life decision.
I mean,
that's gotta-
I'm planning on going. You might not want
I
to.
may have to go just for your health.
That's true.
Like if you get out, I'm going to have to, biggin. Make sure you don't fall over in the cornfield.
We need to move some cameras.
Turn into a bloated
I'm
raccoon.
going to put an air tag on you guys in case I got to come out.
Keister the air tag and get in there, son.
All right. What would Leroy say? All right, we've talked about things that we've learned, things that we didn't, the things that we believe that now we don't believe, deer that we thought existed that didn't or might have. Okay, what would Leroy say about what we've talked about today?
Pick a way to hunt and stick with it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's why I go back to the sprays
And that
the pea
comes
jug.
from and I've said it before, and that comes from the Leroy that I knew, the older Leroy where he wasn't as the one that you hunted with, back in the 90s and stuff. I think he would have said just find a way to hunt and stick with it.
Yeah, because I mean going back to when I was younger, he was very methodical with everything he did. Very few things did he switch up on, and I think and I guarantee it's because he was bought into that thinking, and it worked. So
If it's working, why would you try something else?
exactly. That's why I say I'll spray down, I'll pee in a water bottle because I've been yet to be hurt by it. I'd hate to be wrong, and I think Papa would hate to be wrong at the later end of his life.
Leroy was set in his ways, and there were a lot of things that he did that we have kind of evolved from. But here's what, when I was looking at this, here's what stuck in my mind. What I thought he would say is, don't buy into the bullshit. Don't buy into it.
Yeah, but this guy also spent like how many
I know.
dollars on carbon clothing
Oh, yeah, I
and ghillie
know.
suits.
He's
And
telling you from experience.
yeah, that's what he's saying. Hey, don't do it, fellas. You know, like I don't think that. I think Jaden's right. Find something you do it well, and stick with it.
Because
and
the
don't
better you get
play
at
for
that,
the
he would say,
gimmicks.
the better you get at the way that you hunt, the better chance you're going to have, rather
Yeah.
than keep trying something different.
I agree.
Okay. Well, it is almost August. That means October 1st is getting closer and closer.
I can't wait for it to be
and
105 degrees.
And it's like week 7.
I know. I looked at that the other day. I was looking through football.
Yeah, now we're
You guys
talking
are-
football.
Well, I'm just saying, you guys will be starting playoffs mid-October.
Yeah. Yep.
So where were you going with that?
I'm just saying. We're getting
It's
closer.
getting there. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
because,
I mean-
because we do an episode once a month.
Yeah, it's been every 2 to 3 weeks through the summer.
Those are rookie numbers. We need to bump that up.
Well, when we're getting out in the field more, we'll have more to talk about.
An episode a day.
No.
Can't do that, boss.
No. No. Be too
Yeah,
busy.
Some
for
of us have jobs.
that. Yeah.
You sound like Josh. He tells me I don't have a job.
All right.
Self-employed.
Yeah.
Take
I
them
hate
off.
these glasses. I did.
Your cheetah glasses? Oh, you got new ones.
I've got black ones.
It's
See,
been
kids,
so.
bullying
You
works.
made fun of me on the podcast. I had to get rid of the cheetah glasses.
Mind you, that was 6 weeks ago. He just changed them.
Wow. All right. After all of that, we still don't agree on a whole lot. Apparently, ghost bucks are real, unless they're not. Half the hunting advice that we've heard over the years are probably belong in the trash can. And somehow, every one of us thinks we'd make the right choice in an impossible situation. One thing we do know, though, is every season teaches us something new, and every deer has a way of making sure we stay home. Thanks for hanging out with us. Until next time, this is Jamie. This is Jaden. I'm Clark. We're OSNG.